right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Fast flow. The jet stream sending another disturbance our way tomorrow. Why some of us might hear thunder and where that chance seems higher.
A deer walks into a South City bar.
Oh my God!
The deer patron causing a wild scene inside an urban hotspot. Our top story, a ballot battle decided by St. Louis County voters.
Prop B was bad. Voters agreed.
But the failure of Prop B may not be the end to the council war.
We shall see now what happens.
Tonight, the Missouri Secretary of State's office confirms its investigation into St. Louis County officials regarding Proposition B. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. The ballot measure overwhelmingly failed in yesterday's election. It would have given the county council the power to fire county department heads appointed by County Executive Sam Page. Now state officials are looking into claims the Page administration used taxpayer money for a partisan campaign against the measure.
5 on your side's Laura Barcheski has reaction tonight from both the county executive and the council.
Mike and Kelly, it's no secret the county executive and council have been at odds about Prop B from the very beginning. Despite all that, they recognize the decision made by the voters, and we'll see what this state investigation brings.
St. Louis County voters decided they did not want the language in Proposition B to go in their county charter. It would have given the county council the power to remove department heads. Council members and County Executive Sam Page had very different reactions to the results.
Prop B was bad. Voters agreed it was bad for the county.
And I think I can say this for the council. I think we're all disappointed in the outcome, but at the same time, I've been doing this for quite a while now, and I've learned that I usually trust what the voters tell us.
Council Chairwoman Rita Hurd-Days says even without this language, they're still going to do what they can to hold the department heads accountable.
There are budgetary issues that we have to look at, and we will be scrutinizing those budget expenditures very carefully. I mean, not that we haven't done it before, but we just want to make sure that we are spending wisely.
The county executive, along with several department heads, publicly opposed the measure. It started with a lawsuit and public statements against it. In the weeks leading up to Election Day, posts were made on county government's social media pages and the website, followed up by postcards paid for by the county, mailed out directly to voters. There are now claims the language used wasn't educational, but was actually partisan.
The statute doesn't say that you can advocate for or against anything. If you're going to, you can put information out that explains what's going on, but you can't take a position on it. And it's clear that what was sent out under the auspices of the county was clearly skewed to encourage people to vote against it.
The Missouri Secretary of State is now investigating. Page denies breaking the law.
It was our obligation as a government to tell the county voters how disruptive Proposition B would be to the services they receive. And we fulfilled that obligation in a way that I thought complied with the law and was straightforward and told the truth.
If the Secretary of State finds wrongdoing here, it could mean jail time and a fine. Now, on the issue of if it would go back on the ballot, the council has the ability to do that, but there is some reluctance to ask again after voters made a decision.
24 hours after her resounding victory, St. Louis Mayor-elect Kara Spencer is putting the finishing touches on her new administration. Last night, she beat the incumbent, Tashara Jones, by a 28-point margin. Spencer expects to announce her cabinet in the coming days. She will take the oath of office in City Hall next Tuesday. For all the election results and reaction to the big races, you can head over to KSDK.com. Just text the word results to 314-425-5355, and we'll send you a link.
Tonight, the rivers are falling. Just hours ago, Route 141 and Interstate 44 reopened ahead of schedule. The flood-prone intersection has been closed since Monday thanks to the rising Merrimack River. The river crested at around 29 feet yesterday. It is a quiet and cool night in St. Louis.
That could change tomorrow. Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is tracking the chances of spot showers and possibly some rumbles of thunder.
I think some of us will hear some thunder as we go into tomorrow afternoon, especially southeast of St. Louis, and here's why. We're watching a little disturbance right now that's making its way into the northern tier across eastern portions of the Dakotas and Minnesota. It's going to drop down our way. The air aloft is really chilly, so that makes things a bit more unstable tomorrow afternoon. We're thinking around noon until 8. Some showers, some thunderstorms. They'd be widely scattered, so not everybody gets rain. But if you get under one of the heaviest thunderstorms, there's a chance you could actually have some hail, especially to the southeast of St. Louis. Thinking mostly on the small size. Tomorrow morning shouldn't have any problems out the door. As we head towards the midday hours, we have that chance of seeing some showers and storms develop. That chance increases some as we head into tomorrow afternoon and through tomorrow evening as that energy slides on through the region. Again, nothing widespread, we don't think, and we're not anticipating anything that's going to really change the river levels. They're on the way down. 40s out the door tomorrow morning. The early morning rain chance, that's a goose egg. We'll see you in a few minutes.
All right, Scott. A school board shakeup is coming to the St. Louis Public Schools. The 3 incoming school board members are hoping to make big changes. Each of them outperformed the only incumbent, school board president Tony Cousins, last night. 5 News Side's Brent Solomon is live downtown after hearing from the winners in this race. Brent?
Well, when voters in the city spoke, Kelly, they made it clear across the board. They want change. Tonight, we're delving deeper into that school board race. All 3 of the incoming board members say they understand the challenges that they consider to be opportunities. Concerns over spending, an ousted superintendent, transportation turmoil.
These challenges aren't new. These are systemic issues that we've seen in St. Louis for decades.
Alisa A.J. Foster is a 2016 grad of Metro High School. She taught through AmeriCorps and now works in educational technology. She's been focusing on what St. Louis public schools are going through.
But now we have the opportunity, when we are talking about school closures and consolidations, we have the opportunity to give resources to all of our schools. We have the opportunity to ask tough questions.
She's one of 3 people voters elected to serve on the school board. The wife of former Superintendent Kelvin Adams, Dr. Karen Collins Adams, is a former principal. We introduced you to her during the campaign when she said leaders need to do all they can to make sure the district doesn't lose accreditation again.
I feel the weight of the responsibility.
Brian Marston is a web developer. He garnered the highest votes of all the candidates.
I have 2 kids who are enrolled in St. Louis Public Schools, and I think that was important to voters. I'm hoping to increase community trust and engagement, transparent communication.
All of the incoming board members outperforming board president Tony Cousins, who shared this on social media. SLPS, I've given you 4 years of my time, expertise, love, and commitment. I wish the Board of Education success for these challenging times ahead. Now back to my family and job that actually pays me. And being the youngest member of the school board, Foster says she's been studying the district, so she brings an understanding of governance. When it comes to Marston, the other board member that you just heard from, he says he hopes all of the voters who voted for him will throw his support now into the district. We're live downtown. Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
New video tonight of St. Louis firefighters making a rescue. Just hours ago, a firefighter was lowered down into a 100-foot silo to rescue a puppy. This happened at the shuttered Cementland art exhibit and former cement factory along the city's north riverfront. It's unclear who reported the dog's predicament. The animal was taken for treatment. A wild break-in at a business has been buzzing all around a popular South St. Louis neighborhood.
And listen to this. 5 on your side's Robert Townsend says the culprit, caught on camera, was a daring deer.
It was one dandy of a day at the Gin Room in South St. Louis.
There is a deer in the dining room.
That's right. Just after 11 Wednesday morning, a deer darted through the front glass window at the restaurant near South Grand and Wyoming Street.
Hi, little fella.
The startled chef was the only worker inside at the time.
Stop, stop, stop.
No way could he stop the unexpected visitor he caught on video with his cell phone.
A deer busting through your windows might make quite a large crash. He thought someone was breaking in. Thought it was a human.
Owner Natasha Barami says the disoriented deer ran around their 42-year-old family-owned business.
Spent much time throughout the dining room here.
The intruder then tried to hop over their bar.
It wanted its breakfast martini and was trying to get served.
Dozens of dogs live in the neighborhood, but no one has ever seen anything like this.
Certainly not this far into the city.
I'm blown away.
Think he's looking for Rudolph?
Yes, definitely.
How about Bambi?
Bambi over Rudolph.
Neighbors tell me there were actually 4 deer roaming around this area at the time. The gin room's owner believes the one that caused all this damage to her business might have been spooked by traffic.
We also have our video from our surveillance as well, which shows that the deer was here for approximately over 10 minutes.
I think it's absurd.
How did it get here?
No one knows.
That's sad. It looks very scared.
The gin room's chef finally helped the scared deer out of the big hole it left behind. Do you think it's still around here?
I would not know.
Perhaps this creature has a clue. What do you think? Where's the deer? Robert Townsend.
This is definitely one for the record book.
5 on your side.
Workers.
Deer walks into the gin room.
Yeah, definitely, yes. Well, workers say the deer suffered minor cuts, likely from the broken glass, but should be okay.
They say about $2,000 in damage to the restaurant, which did open tonight after some deep cleaning.
Defying the odds.
It happened and I've survived. Like, that's all I keep trying to think about.
Tonight, an Illinois teen's strength and resilience just weeks after a crash involving an ambulance. Giving workers a break. Tonight, we verify whether your boss owes you lunch money and why it all depends on what side of the river you clock in and clock out.
Both sides of the river could see some quick hitting showers, maybe even a storm Thursday, courtesy of that bundle of energy heading our way. We're timing those rain chances and looking toward the weekend in just 7 minutes.
If she makes it through the night was kind of what they had said, and then to where I am now, it was like a crazy comeback.
Tonight, for the first time, we're hearing from a Clinton County teen less than 2 months after she was seriously hurt in a crash involving an ambulance. After nearly 2 months and countless surgeries, 18-year-old Macy McCabe is finally back home and in rehab.
Tonight, the modern-day cheerleader is sharing her story only with 5 on your side. Back in February, on February 11th, McCabe crashed head-on into an ambulance. She suffered more than 30 broken bones. Her doctors and her family feared she wouldn't survive, but she did. The high school senior had to learn to walk again. Her motivation: get strong enough to dance at prom and walk at graduation.
So that was my biggest motivation, was like dancing at prom. I really didn't think it was gonna happen, but to my surprise, it is happening. I shocked myself and a lot of other people, but it was a miracle. That's all I can think of.
Macy got a scholarship from Lindenwood University, and they are holding her cheerleading spot. She says her goal is to be ready by fall.
Tonight, opponents are all charged up over a new Missouri law surrounding energy. Governor Mike Keogh signed Senate Bill 4 into law today. Opponents say it passes on the cost to construct power plants onto customers. The Consumers Council of Missouri claims it will raise utility bills for Missouri households $1,100 per year. Supporters say it will strengthen the state's power grid, saving customers in the long run. It also provides other consumer protections like expanding the hot and cold weather rule and providing tailored rates for seniors and low-income families.
Tonight, a stunning reversal by President Donald Trump just hours after his worldwide reciprocal tariffs went into effect. The president announced a 90-day pause on the 75 countries willing to negotiate. At the same time, he raised tariffs on China to 125% in retaliation for an 84% tariff imposed on the U.S. The news sent stocks surging this afternoon, reaching historic gains.
Well, the lunch break, it's always been more than just about food. Some employees view it as much needed time to themselves.
For others, it's a chance to forge connections with coworkers. But are you legally entitled to one? Ann Allred is here to verify it.
Nearly all workers agree lunch breaks are important. It's a chance to take a breather from the workday. But is it true in Illinois and Missouri you are legally entitled to a lunch break? Let's verify. Our sources, the Illinois Department of Labor, the Missouri Department of Labor, and the U.S. Department of Labor. As far as federal law goes, lunch breaks are not required. So that leaves state laws to determine if you are legally entitled to one. In the state of Illinois, yes, there are meal break requirements. If you work 7.5 hours or longer, you get a 20-minute paid meal break. And this break must be taken no later than 5 hours after your shift starts. If your shift lasts 12 hours or longer, you get an additional paid 20-minute break. There are certain exemptions, like for people who monitor individuals with developmental disabilities or people who work for private EMS companies. But here's where things get a little sticky. Federal law says if that break is 30 minutes or more, the Illinois employer does not have to pay you for it. As for the state of Missouri, state law does not require employers to provide any meal breaks. We can verify, yes, it's true. In the state of Illinois, you are legally entitled to a 20-minute paid lunch break if you work a minimum of 7.5 hours. But in the state of Missouri, that's not the case. We can verify false. Missouri employees are not legally entitled to a lunch break. I'm Ann Allred, 5 on your side.
What can Ann verify for you? Send her an email. The address is verify@ksdk.com.
Well, what do you get when you mix a horse racing track and a casino? Fairmount Park is calling it a racino. The horse racing track in Collinsville is celebrating its 100th season this year with a new owner and an $85 million upgrade. A timeline on the expansion has not been given, but live racing returns on April 22nd, and the horses will run every Tuesday and Saturday until November 1st.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is here with the weather impact forecast.
You can bet that track's been a little bit wet here of late, but we're going to get a little more rain tomorrow. Most of us don't see much. Some of us won't see any tomorrow, but there are a few rumbles of thunder on the way. And you might get under one of those heavier thunderstorms just briefly and have a little bit of hail in that. Noon until 8 o'clock tomorrow, the better chance for seeing the stronger thunderstorms, we think it's going to be very isolated, will be southeast of St. Louis. So we may have to dodge a few drops around the metro area, but it doesn't look like it's a problematic scenario, and certainly not for very long. We're 58 degrees right now. We have one system pushing through at this moment. We look at the jet stream winds here. You can see another little area up here to our north and west. So one system slides by, the next one slides in. As this one comes in, you already see the spin in the atmosphere. There's energy there. It's going to try and reinforce cool air. So Friday we cool off a bit. And getting there during the day tomorrow, we'll likely see the clouds build, and as we head towards lunchtime, a chance for a shower or thunderstorm developing. Should be in the 40s, close to 50 by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Mainly dry during the morning hours, but as we head towards 11, 12 o'clock, that's when we start to get the effects of that next disturbance sliding in from the north. You'll have a chance of a scattered shower or thunderstorm as we head towards 2, 3 o'clock. A few more bubble up, especially southeast of St. Louis. We're thinking on a line from, let's say, Ironton to Farmington, over to Chester, maybe as far north as New Athens and Nashville. That's probably the northern fringes of where your best shot at seeing a little bit of hail out of some of those thunderstorms will be. Most of them are not going to produce hail. And they'll go away as soon as we get rid of the heat of the afternoon tomorrow, and then cooler air pushes in. How unimpactful is this? Well, for most of us, rainfall amounts are less than 1/10 of an inch. If you're under one of those heavier ones, you may end up with 1/4 of an inch or a little more. Overnight tonight, we're dropping back into the 40s, 58 degrees right now, low to mid 40s by early tomorrow morning. Kind of that mix of sun and clouds. You'll see the clouds build tomorrow. The chance for rain does go up during the afternoon, but at any one spot, that chance doesn't last very long. As we look at the next 7 days, you're finding quiet weather for the upcoming weekend. No weather impact alert days at this point. In fact, as we look at the weekend, how about 65 for the high on Saturday? It is dry all across the bi-state region. Sunday, more of the same, except it's warmer. It's also windy on Sunday. We'll be back into the mid-70s for highs come Sunday afternoon. But the most important part about this weekend, it is going to be dry. It will not be a drenching rain like we had last Saturday that kind of wrapped up the flash flooding we had from Friday night.
Yeah, we don't need any more of that.
No, that's not on the way.
All right,
Good.
Scott, thanks.
Remember, we are always streaming on 5+, and tonight at 10:30, you can watch our Great Flood of '93 special as seen through the cameras and reporters of KSDK.
And then at 11:20, we're going to take a closer look at recent historic flooding in the South and Midwest. You can watch for free on your TV through your Roku, Apple, or Fire TV. All right, now here's Frank with sports.
Mike, the Cardinals need to avoid playing in extra innings. Augusta is the place to be this week. We'll take you there for a heartwarming moment and the story of a St. Louisan who's played there quite a bit. By 11:30 tonight, the Blues could be in the playoffs. So if the Flames lose in regulation to the Ducks and the Blues win in regulation in Edmonton, they are in. First period, Corey Perry hit Jordan Binnington with his stick, and then Binner will just deck him, and fights erupt all over the ice. And shortly after that, Ryan Suter with a shorthanded goal. Right now it's 1-0 Blues in the second period. This weekend is the Frozen Ford Enterprise. How big is this for our town? Per the Sports Commission, the economic impact is in the $15 to $20 million range. Translated, a lot of out-of-towners eating our toasted ravs. The teams hit the ice for practice today. Penn State and Western Michigan are first-timers in the Frozen Four. Denver and Boston are staples. The eyes of the hockey world will once again be on St. Louis, the heartland of hockey.
I know I say this like when we start the playoffs, but a day like today feels like Christmas. I mean, it's such a gift to see the college teams out there, to see the logos, to feel the excitement. We talk about ourselves as the heartland of hockey. This is a great event, a great weekend where we can really demonstrate that once again to hockey fans all over the world.
Cardinals and Pirates in the rubber game. Eric Fedde no-hit the Pirates for 6 innings. He was really pitching well. Bizarre moment in the 8th inning. Wilson Contreras with a pop-up. Never seen a play like this. Thomas Saggese sees confusion, tries to make an aggressive move, and he tries to score, but he's tagged out. Bottom of the 13th, 1-1 game, bases loaded. Chris Roycroft pitches. Joey Bart hits. Pirates win 2-1. Cardinals have lost 7 out of their last 9. Today was the par 3 tournament at the Masters. This day always creates some awesome moments for players and their families. And today, Rory McIlroy's daughter, Poppy, stole the show. Look at this putt from the 4-year-old. She reads the green, and I think it's going to go in. Yes, it is. Her dad, Rory, would love a few of those this weekend as he goes for his first green jacket. Augusta is a place where very few St. Louisans have ever played. But the man behind me was once kind of a regular. With the help of photographer Joe Eichmeyer, we give you the Jim Holtgreave story. You are looking at the only St. Louis area product to have played in not 1 Masters, not 2, 3, or 4, but 5. This is Jim Holtgreave.
When I got paired with those icons in the game of golf, that's when I thought, I'm a punk kid from St. Louis, Missouri, Webster Groves High School. I mean, what am I doing?
What Holtgreave was doing was using this $85 persimmon wood driver on the first tee at Augusta in 1980. We had him hit that same driver today at Belle Reve Country Club. The next year at Augusta, Holtgreave opened up with a fella named Arnold Palmer. And the smooth putting stroke he still has today was on display in 1981 as Jim shot 70 and walked off the course in 2nd place. He was in a groove.
I hit the 1-iron, 280 right down the middle on the 18th hole. And as we're walking off, Mr. Palmer says, Jim, what the heck's going on here? I said, Mr. Palmer, I'm playing with my golf idol. I said, I'm a punk kid from St. Louis. I'm in the foundry business, steel business with my father. My adrenaline's flowing, and what an honor it is to be here with you. And he was so kind and gracious to me that I can never forget it.
His career was pretty memorable also. Those soft hands led him to 4 district titles, 2 Missouri AMs. Holtgreave played on 3 Walker Cup winning teams and captained 2 others. And he won a United States Mid-Am. That's why at Augusta, he played with confidence.
I was a competitor. I was focused on winning. So I just, once I got out there and got going, it was all about playing the game.
And let it be known, Jim Holtgreave is still hitting the ball well. 270 yards with the driver.
You're 77 now. If you go out and play 18 holes, what would you shoot today?
It depends if whether you and I are going to play for $5.
I would never play him. He's unbelievable. He's the best.
What a great story. I really enjoyed that, playing with
how
Arnold Palmer.
And he said Mr. Palmer.
Yes, such respect for the great ones.
Yeah.
A bumper stumper in the land of Lincoln, the push to allow Illinois drivers to go back in time. Illinois drivers could soon purchase a blast from the past at the DMV. The Illinois Attorney Assembly is considering a bill that will allow drivers to purchase retro license plates.
So it's the plates you remember from the 80s and 90s with the dark blue lowercase letters. Just like vanity plates, there will be an extra fee. The State House bill passed a bill this week and now heads to the state Senate. It's like all those Cardinals uniforms, get a little extra money.
Well, you can. I mean, think about it. We like some of those plates.
Sure,
going
retro
back.
is good for old people like me.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
my goodness.
we're all there. All right. Weather-wise, tomorrow, take your umbrella out the door. You won't need it in the morning, but if you're trying to do lunch outside tomorrow, you may. And tomorrow evening, you may be picking up the kids from school. There might be a shower. There might be a thunderstorm. Most of us are not going to see much tomorrow. We're close to 70, then we're close to 60 on Friday. It's cooler, maybe a little patchy frost early Saturday, but the weekend is dry, it is bright, and it gets
looks
warmer by
fantastic.
Sunday. Yeah.
Oh, good.
There you have it, 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+.
Be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis. That starts at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.